Hey guys, Mark Naven here, and I'm joined by Geoff Davis from Swing and Vent Holdings. So Geoff, you've been telling me about some of the great inventions that you've done over time, but you've been telling me about this one particular one. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, my experience, I actually started 12 years I'm actually an electrical fitter mechanic by trade, and I spent 12 years working in the mining industry, open cut specifically.
Yeah.
I did my electrical apprenticeship for a contractor, we did all the industrial, commercial, and then I got involved in the mining industry, and within 3 months I was promoted to leading hand, and I was scared of the drag lines breaking down on my shift, so
Right.
I basically didn't want to be ringing the boss up at 1 o'clock in the morning when a drag line's not working,
Yeah.
and all we find was a blown fuse. So
Right.
yeah, so that's originally my experience in the mining industry. Yes.
Okay. And well, tell us a bit more about what you're doing now. What have you invented? What have you come up with? What's your product?
What ended up happening is I left the mining industry after spending 12 years, and then I worked for a company that allowed me the opportunity to get back involved in talking to mining companies, and hence I developed a operator console that's currently used on the majority of the drag lines in the Bowen Basin. And then I had the operators complaining about the antiquated swing pedals, and I said, I think I've got an idea. So hence I birthed the very first slimline swing pedal that's currently has developed, and formed my own company, Swing and Vent Holdings. And
So for all the novices out there, a drag line is a big machine in the mine, and the swing pedals
controls the rotation of that big machine. Now the drag line, it does.
What's unique about what your pedals do?
Well, what they've done is, what it means is the whole of the control system, instead of being beneath the floor, where on a Marion drag line you'd have to get a boom access to get access to the control gear, or on a Bucyrus drag line in the old days, you had to get confined space.
Yeah.
So when the drag line stops rotating, left or right, it can be costs of around about $18,000 to $36,000 per hour lost production.
Wow.
So therefore, having something that's user-friendly, also easier to maintain, reduce your downtime, and in the design of the SIH swing pedal, I actually designed it so we took into effect the importance of ergonomics, because operators today are sitting in that operating chair for 12-hour shifts.
Wow.
And you get a lot of fatigue. So hence the
you've
slimline pedal. Now all the control gears inside the cabin, and it's just plug and play.
Awesome. So you really saw a problem, which is where the best inventions sort of come from, and then come up with a solution for it.
Came up with a solution, and I made it so that it was ergonomics. Also made it easier for the maintenance staff to actually maintain that equipment. Also, with the
save on costs as well.
Saves on costs, so reduce those downtime, increase operator productivity, means there's more money that the company's making by having better performance out of their operators and shifting that overburden.
Yeah.
But the swing pedal can also be retrofitted to wire rope shovels. I actually learned to operate a drag line. In the old days, we actually got up and actually learned to drive a drag line, and also I learned to drive a rope shovel.
Yeah.
So then when I was talking to the mining operators, it was so much more understanding. I could understand exactly what their challenges were.
Because you knew how to do it yourself.
I knew how to do it, and hence it all birthed the Swing and Vent Holdings.
Excellent, excellent. So, for your business and your company, what are you looking for? How can what are you looking for to grow? How can people advocate for you?
Well, the way you can advocate with is anything to do with mining equipment. Well, open cut specifically, anything to do with overhead gantry cranes. I've got vast experience in gantry cranes, as well as all the ongoing maintenance in mining.
Yeah.
Whether it's simple things like in the early days, rock crushers. In the early days, they used to have to disconnect all the electrics. Well, I said to the mining companies when I was out there, I said, well, why don't you put a caterpillar chain? So you don't have to disconnect the electrics and rack the crusher out of position. Now, today, all the majority of crushers are racked out using this caterpillar chain. So it reduces the effects of downtime and cable getting shorter and shorter.
Fantastic.
So, yes.
And so, tell us, obviously there's other people doing some things. What's your point of difference with your company?
Well, the point of difference with the product is that the whole product is actually no perishable items on the pedal, no likelihood of the control gear over travelling, and a good example of that, you might have a swing reference 100% in left, then if the controls all of a sudden switch to the right direction, you've got a reference signal of 100% and then you get slam, a right signal, and the electronics in the drag line goes into overcurrents and shuts down.
Right.
So by reducing that or even eliminating that possibly happening, or even allowing contaminants inside your pedal is going to reduce the reliability. So if you can contain all those...
And so you were telling us last week actually a little bit about how reliable your pedals actually are.
Yes, I've had pedals in operating on drag lines for over 10 years with 0 downtime. Now that means that operations have continual use of that machine.
And as you said before, they're what, $36,000 an hour.
Exactly.
And they've had 0 hours.
0 downtime, and
Amazing.
that gets back to how well engineered the product is and supported here in Brisbane and here in Australia.
Yeah.
Also can be supported overseas, so it's not only just here in Australia.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't break down, you can market the product, export overseas, and still have reliability. All
Fantastic.
the pedal is supported with spare parts, so you don't have any issues of accessing spare parts overseas, all readily available.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about your goals. What are you hoping to achieve?
Well,
whether it's like in 3 months or a year or 5 years, what do you want to happen?
You know, I've partnered up with an agent here in Australia,
Yeah.
and here in Australia we're looking at having one company specifically operating with SIH pedals.
Wow.
The entire fleet of their drag lines operating with SIH pedals. That means that there's uniformity within spare parts. It means then it's supported locally here in Australia, and also what it means is there's continuity in spares, what they're actually going to do with it, when the machine comes out of service, what needs to be done to actually retrofit so the pedal comes out of service just for regular maintenance, and then returned back onto the store shelf and ready to go back into service when the next 6 months is up.
Fantastic. So pretty exciting year ahead for you.
Very much so. And where I see the swing pedals is the opportunity in dragline. There's around about 800 drag lines in the world.
Yeah.
Here in Australia, we've got roughly about 70 drag lines operating. You've got around about 50 in India, Canada, US, South Africa, Peru, Chile. All those countries have got drag lines. But where I see the biggest opportunity is, and the reason I say it is that back in 2018 at QME last year in Mackay, we had a number of operators operating rope shovels come to our stand and complain they could not even write their name at the end of shift. Now that's fatigue.
Well, it's a workplace health and safety too, you know.
And they're
carpal tunnel and
Exactly.
repetitive strain. So yeah.
So I
if you-
see
if
the
you can
opportunity of
help people in that regard as well. Apart from making it a better machine to operate, with helping people longevity in the job as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to reduce, the opportunity is for shovels. Because actually in the early days, Basiris on the AC drive shovel, 495s, I actually learned to operate that, and it was swing pedals.
Yeah.
And the only reason shovels didn't go that way was confined, no access to actually have the antiquated control gear.
Yeah.
But that's all been
And you've
solved.
solved that problem.
All with the SIH pedal. Retrofitted
Fantastic.
into your shovel and
So you
reducing
solved the
those-
problem and solved it.
And the opportunity
Fantastic.
down the track is wire rope shovels all be fitted with SIH pedals, and reducing that fatigue, and it also gives the operator a chance to have a sip of coffee instead of constantly hanging on to that controller to swing left to swing
Oh,
right.
that's the way. That's the way. All right. Cool. Thanks, Geoff, and
Yeah.
we'll catch you guys in the next video.
Shall do.
See ya.
Catch
Bye.
you soon. Bye.